we have Johannes have been known to be playing standing to intimidate his opponents further, even further than what a young Jakob Hultman can intimidate anyone.
It really looks like this was Jakob Hultman in his casting call for dodgeball.
It could be. It could very well be. So we got some reactions from the chat that we were going overboard with the beard talk. So we're trying to dial that down slightly, and then we get into this situation. This is basically entrapment because a beardless Jakob Hultman is on the board. How can we not mention that? I don't think there's any way to get around that. Also, but we will try not to mention the fact that we have collected a huge amount of beard on the left-hand side of this matchup here, because David has got a phenomenal one.
Yeah, we also have some serious forearm tattoos. I really think there isn't enough discussion in the streaming kind of community about what is the right kind of forearm tattoos to have for stream matches.
Right. That's correct.
I think it's really an unexplored element of the meta. Like,
I think
people
so.
haven't really started looking at how to optimize their streaming setup by getting the right forearm tattoos.
Right. I mean, you could go about this in several ways. Of course, you can have things that sort of display your personality, of course, and that sort of, I guess, regular tattoo thinking. But I'm looking, maybe you could go with maybe you could sell the space on your forearms for commercial purposes. Or maybe with today's technology and laser, you can actually maybe just rent it out. Right?
Yeah.
There are so many possibilities, and none of them are being explored to the full extent.
If we look at the henna level as well, there is just so many levels.
Yeah, and I feel this is where the streaming of Game of Thrones might be heading.
Yeah. We've got Samuel joining us again. We're just discussing the important elements about streaming, saying there hasn't really been enough emphasis put into correct forearm tattoos. What's your position on it in terms of potentially renting out space, advertising for future events? Like henna really takes us to the next level in this.
Yeah, well, it depends.
All right, so that was actually the streaming room. As you might have seen, David left the table in order to get to know whether or not to start playing.
It seems like Johannes is being passive. He was threatening to play in the nude.
Yeah. Johannes, he's also sitting down.
That would be a very unfortunate angle, though, for a nude player.
Yeah.
Especially with our planned PG level for the game being streamed in stores around the world.
But as I was saying previously,
tattoos.
Johannes has been known to use all available tools to him in order to intimidate his opponent, but he has no forearm tattoos.
He doesn't, but he compensates with Jakob.
Yeah, with the Jakob.
We were going to ask you for confirmation, because we're very nearly certain, but we figured as his brother, you might be able to give some light on this.
Yeah.
Now, we're pretty sure that is Jakob's photo from his casting call for dodgeball. Is that correct?
Yeah, it at least very similar to that one. They say that because he when he went to the audition for dodgeball, he asked for them to return that picture if he didn't get the role.
Okay.
And for those who've seen dodgeball, Jakob isn't in it.
No, he's not.
So he didn't get the role, but he didn't get the picture back. So there are rumors that the picture has been, floating around.
Right.
Yeah, seen some pretty savory
circles
places,
in the LA underground scene.
Yep.
All right. So to get into the game that's actually unfolding here, we see two plots being revealed. One of them giving draw, one of them giving even more draw to at least the other player. And then we have
we also have a very traditional Baratheon opening of 4 Night's Watch characters and 2 Rose Roads.
Definitely. And also,
classic Barra.
Also, we see David just going overboard with that low-cost curve thing that he might be doing, right?
Well, a Duke
Are we about to see a wall come down as well?
Could be.
That's so Barra.
That is so Barra. This stack has been around for quite a while, but hasn't seen that much play.
Is this what you end up with if you really like Melisandre as a house card but want to play Night's Watch?
It could
I
be.
think so. I think so.
I think this is what you end up with if you feel like you want to win without actually ever making a challenge.
Yes, he's got the wall. He's
This
got
is-
the table.
This
Just
should
waiting for the
be-
chair, and he's got the full set of furniture.
Right. This
Johannes
should
seems
be
to
the-
count out 30 gold on the other side.
something like that.
Correct.
And
Which
Johannes
is,
is using some really old style Swedish 5 coins
Yes.
that went out of, I guess, circulation about the same time I was born.
There is some weird things going on with his Jakob shrine as well.
Mm-hmm.
He has 4 ear tokens,
Right.
and one is placed right above Jakob's eye.
Yeah.
That might be some kind of
Is he trying to send a
magical.
message preparing for the next matchup?
Could be, or he's just trying to invoke some elder god thing by placing ears on eyes on pictures of players.
He's got dragons. He's got ears. Where are the tentacles?
Well, I think he had a tentacle thing going, but he went for PG rating.
Because right now we do have the tentacles on the David side. He's got tentacles on his forearms. And this is what we've really been talking about, right? There are so many opportunities here.
But in
Right.
terms of not matching of the tattoos to the faction, is that a faux pas?
A little bit, yes. I'd say it is. And it seems he's rocking the Kraken, the Tyrell Kraken combo with his left arm and right arm.
Yep.
The flower and the Kraken.
Right, right.
And then he plays a Barra Watch, which is in my eyes that's
It's
not
really weird, right?
that's weird.
Yeah.
Not okay.
Yeah. We won't hold it against him, but we will
Yeah, I mean,
have to mention it.
The results speak for themselves,
Yeah,
surely.
surely.
But,
It'll have to be included in the analysis.
Yeah.
Yes, I
All
think
right.
so.
So for marshalling from the Targaryen side of things, we have seen Ago.
Ago at this point is desperate for noble lineage,
I
staring at both himself and the Plaza of Pride, just yearning to do those 3 challenges.
Right, right. Do we think that Johannes has anything more significant in hand? Because he does have a bit of coin left, right?
Yeah, I believe he's got at least 3 coins back.
Right, and he's got
No, 2, because he's played the Plaza of Pride.
right. So he's got the honey wine out.
No, we're heading to the
No,
challenges.
challenges. And is that the military challenge? No, it's the intrigue challenge.
Yeah.
And he allows the wall to be knelt. That's peculiar.
Interesting choice. Interesting indeed. I guess he wants to be able to save.
I mean, he also doesn't want Aemon to be burned down.
Right, right.
Okay. That's
So
Lord
that's
Renly.
Neil.
Lord Renly's sweet ride.
Yes. So he's kneeling down. I can only assume Aemon.
Yeah.
Since he already got the kneel on the wall, there's no reason to kneel any of the 2 others.
Yeah, he can still kneel down one of the large characters and look at squeezing more.
Maybe. Yeah, of course.
Or even just kneel down Aemon, stop the intrigue coming across,
And that's what I
and
was
keep
thinking.
cards in his own hand.
That's what I was thinking. But no, he seems to be going for
Yes, Sir Dennis.
Sir Dennis
Or
instead.
the raiding party.
He still has a military challenge to toss across,
All right,
which
right.
then forces him to either block the military challenge or face the intimidate on Aemon.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it really shuts him down quite nicely for the first turn.
It does. It does. This is actually really good play from Johannes. A good
Yeah.
opening. Really good opening.
And that's the I love the we haven't heaped enough praise, I think, on Lord Renly's ride. It's such a good
That's-
card,
that's
even if you sit with a completely empty dead pile.
Right.
The surprise factor of an intimidation
Yeah.
it's just so very very
This, Andreas Aldrin had been
can use
talking quite extensively about that on his streams earlier this month. The versatility of this card. It's just hard to argue with.
Yeah, well, you can use it multiple times a turn.
Right, right.
Yep.
It sticks.
Do we know yet which meta is developing the first alt art for that with a picture of Loras on it?
Well, now we're into the rowdy territory here. So we get a military challenge from Ago, being blocked by raiding party, I assume. Right?
It's Ago and the dragon.
Ago and the dragon. So it's not blocked. It's just
Well, is being blocked, I think, to prevent intimidate, but now he has to work out the claim.
Yeah, it's being opposed, not
Yeah.
blocked. So we have Plaza to stand the dragon, and that will allow him to get a unopposed blue challenge through as well. Yeah. Let's see. He's taking dominance with Aemon instead.
But what happened to military claim?
Not sure. That was weird.
No, he took the
He
reducer.
took the reducer,
Yeah,
sure.
obviously.
Chose the reducer?
Yeah, the reducer,
right.
obviously. Makes sense.
I could have known that.
It was in the bottom row of
Yeah,
the character,
yeah.
so
Basically,
it's
location.
to miss.
Mm-hmm.
And right next to the bearded guy's eyes and beard, it's easy to miss. You know, that's usually where a good player would put important cards, because your opponents wouldn't. They would
Yeah.
immediately get their eyes would be drawn to
Right.
the mats instead.
So we have the honey wine on
On
the Targaryen Tyrell.
and
That's an interesting card that hasn't actually been seeing a whole lot of play.
well, in some decks, obviously, in the Lannister Reigns deck, it's quite important. But in this, I think what's interesting here is that Johannes seems to be adding such a card in order to compensate for Targaryen sometimes being a little bit slow, right? So we have the reset with Valar here.
I don't know. I think slowness is really a choice for them. They want the flexibility.
Right.
Once they're putting it in, because we've seen Targaryen banner rows played quite a bit. I believe Costas did quite well with it
Yeah.
throughout the UK regionals and
Right. And they were
Blackwater
around
season?
all this spring, the later parts of the spring, they were quite prolific.
so I guess it's an evolution of that deck, really.
Right, yeah. And I think Honeywine might just fit right in there.
Dragon Glass Dagger.
Yep.
So, what does Johannes have in his hand to recover from this now? He gets only 3 gold. And,
I think his
got a
recovery will be
reduction.
happening just on this
Yeah,
turn.
Yeah. So he's got reducer again,
A lot of money.
a lot of coins, and he's got a lot of cards.
Yeah, 3, 4, 5, 6 potentially with Great Hall.
Yeah. What do you think?
But
He's
he
got
can't
a
afford to drop a
completely.
single character.
Well,
He has
can.
to drop multiples. There we
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
This
Yep.
character.
Yeah. And maybe a
It's
dragon.
actually quite unfortunate that the dragon just died.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he didn't. He's got one of the.
Harbor Slobber lads,
No.
but they're the wrong faction.
Yeah.
No, he did.
That's one of the Harbor Slobbers.
Yeah,
but,
from the banner.
but
Yeah, but they're the wrong faction for
to bring
the discount.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But he will be able to pull one of the dragons back.
Yeah, but his
see.
goal is just off because he can't afford the rattle shirts.
No.
He can't afford the Harbor and/or Slobber.
No.
Jorah has just died. The dragon just died.
Yeah.
That is a pretty.
No. He's got to keep the gold.
That's it. He can't do anything else.
No, he's got
Yeah.
to keep the
That's
gold.
really unlucky for him.
Yeah.
And he's sitting with a crown of gold that he can't really target anyone
Yeah.
with.
No, it's a dead card. Well, it's a good target. He can stand strong things with it with Plaza, obviously.
Yeah, sure.
So we have David thinking about challenges here. And did David pass challenges?
That's strange not to throw the intrigue across. But I suppose there's such a large hand on the other side.
Right.
And no
right.
claim, so he's
Yeah.
more important.
Yeah.
It's more important for him
Yeah.
to defend.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can see here again, like he's staying very patient. He's allowing the wall to be knelt while he shuts down the board.
Right.
And he's making sure that he keeps the military
the
claim
dragon.
from taking anything important.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's
comes the
David is being very methodical and patient here. So we have the dragon entering back into, and then David is blocking it.
Yeah, and now you have the dominance claim for
Yep.
the, I suppose, technically Baratheon deck.
I guess. So yeah.
3-2.
Yeah.
Unless he wants to discard something with the Plaza of Pride to stand the dragon.
He's got 3 coins.
He should have 2 because he had to pay 1 for
Yeah.
it.
Sure.
And that's what they were talking about there, I think.
Yeah, so he's going to discard a card to stand that, prevent the dominance, keep the 2 power for himself, and in
Right.
fact gain 1
Right.
in
right.
that. So it's really a 3 power swing discarding the card here.
Yeah.
Good value.
Good value. Discarding the dupe, standing the dragon, getting 4 for dominance, whereas David is only at 2.
3.
3?
With the wall?
Oh, with the wall. Right. So, standing.
The one unfortunate thing here is that the Valor wiped out quite a significant board, but there was no significant characters on that board.
Right. Especially seeing that it was a dragon that could just return. So even David was in a spot where he could keep a lot of his board in that Valor, and I can see how that's really tempting to do that, to get that sort of advantage.
I suppose if he's expecting a lot of summer plots from the Targaryen player, he doesn't want Aggo to just be available to do all the challenges by himself.
Yeah.
But at the same time, now he can just absolutely fill the board with characters.
Right. And a lot of the more meaty characters. We have Danny obviously in his hand, and I think I might have seen another Blood Rider.
Yeah.
And
I'm surprised that they here to serve actually with just getting an aim on dupe. Like I figured he would have gone for Crescent or something, or
yeah, unless he's running multiple Varuses.
Yeah. I suppose he could allow his opponent to overextend and then try to go for it.
Yeah. If he's relying on resets and he's got he's got Varuses in hand maybe even, or he's just planning on being.
But if he has a Varus, if he plays Varuses, is he not signaling that play now?
Kind of, right. I really don't know why he felt that was the best play available to him. So Johannes is counting out what to play here, and I'm sure
I think it's more of a question of what not to play, because
exactly.
they're all coming down.
Yeah. So that's Danny, and then is he trying to get a dupe with Hobber, maybe? No, a dragon. That's the best dragon with Danny. And then Yora's dead already.
So he can play the Hobber / Slobber, but he wouldn't be able to afford to then also keep Dracarys money back.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
I'd say drop the rattle shirts.
Yeah, why not? There are obviously going to be attachments in David's deck. So
we already have an attachment in play with the Dragon Glass Dagger.
Exactly.
Because while the character himself is immune to character abilities, the attachments on him are not.
Exactly. Right. So that's probably a good play.
Yeah, you got a Night's Watch player on actually running quite low on cards in hand at this point.
That's
so
correct.
while he has an absolute mass of locations, he's having a tough time, especially with the insight coming down on the other side of the board now.
Yeah.
The Targaryen player is going to be able to accelerate at a horrifying rate.
Yeah, and this is why you usually don't see this deck that David is playing run this way. You usually have it the opposite way, where you have the Night's Watch as the main faction, because that way you can run the draw, because most of the draw in Night's Watch is loyal. So having it a Bara deck allows you to get the red keep, I suppose, but really, I think the birds are better to draw, aren't they? They're easier to pull off anyway. So we have
the stealth power.
Yeah. And
standing.
Yeah. So
unopposed to kneel the wall.
Right.
Insight to draw a card.
Yeah. Yeah. This is. I mean.
And then honey wine to get an additional power.
Yeah.
I believe this is what cartoons refer to as a paddling.
Right. Exactly. And we see Johannes here. He's really stable at the board already. Just one turn after the Valar, he's got significant board pressure.
And he's only got 9 power to go.
Right. Yeah. So this is second challenge from...
So this would be intrigue.
Yeah.
Does he stealth John?
Right. John's got stealth though, so he can't.
Okay.
So he's stealthing maybe the small one.
Yeah.
I'd stealth.
Force him to throw in the aim on if he wants it.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
that leaves him open to a little bit of burning.
Well, he could use... he could block it like... Oh, so he stealthed Aemon. Did he?
That's strange.
That's really weird. I would.
But now he can stand Danny.
I would have stealthed.
Give him -1 each.
Yep.
Win the challenge.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, okay.
take the inside, take
Yeah.
the claim, which
Yeah,
is
yeah,
half of David's hand.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense.
Vicious.
Very much so, yeah. So, dupe for the wall. I don't think that's of any
Not relevant, but it
significance, no.
brings the rest
hand
of the
up.
hand that much more
Yeah,
into play.
yeah. And then he draws one for himself. Couldn't really make out what he drew, and that's military, basically just to kneel the...
Military to force military not to come back.
Exactly, exactly. And David is blocking that, of course, because he wants to keep the Dragon Glass Dagger, and for some reason he pointed to Danny. I'm
Just to
not sure.
count the -1.
Yeah, yeah. But he's still, I mean,
So he's currently
he's still a
7
fight.
to 3
Yeah, exactly.
because he +2 from
Yeah,
the dagger. And
yeah, and we have end of phase there.
yeah, so that was dominance to Targaryen as well. So
Right.
he's really kind of running away with the game.
Yeah. So Johannes is at 7, and David is only at 0.
Johannes is at yeah.
7. And David is only at 0. Still.
It's weird to see power on locations, but none on characters.
Right. But Targaryen has so very few renowned characters. So we have the plotting going down here, and he's discarding for taxation phase. So he can only keep 5 cards, and Yora is already dead, obviously. Let's see. Oh, too quick.
Well, at least look at the plot choices.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he already made it. So we get... he's...
Close call to get Jorah back in play.
But he just discarded Jorah.
Okay, maybe just draw a card, whatever.
Huh. I'm not sure about this play, but...
I think
yeah.
he's just gone mad with the card draw power.
Yeah, it seems to me. So counting coppers from David is not very surprising here. Obviously, with a hand size of 1, it makes sense. So how could David recover from this? Like, doesn't he has to start defending the wall now in order to be able to
I'm not sure he
recuperate?
can, especially now with Drogo coming down.
Yeah,
Because he's a long, long way away from that other Valar.
yeah.
And now Dany has all her superpowers.
Yes. Yeah, I think
With Dracarys still in hand,
Yeah.
I think this is...
I think
Largely
Johannes has a great straight road ahead of him. David is marshalling. He got that King's Road. He's so 3, 4, 5. What's coming down? All right, so stealth is off the board for most of his characters.
but the problem is that, yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think it's really the problem. I think there's a lot of problems.
yeah, exactly. Definitely.
Perhaps too many.
Definitely.
Because he
not-
has to survive the entire board throwing themselves at him.
Yeah, yeah. And again, Dracarys is there.
And
now,
the stealth on intrigue is still very relevant.
definitely.
He can force Aemon into the challenge or
Right.
have Jon lose it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Johannes is counting, I suppose. For
It's
his
an amusing thought, actually, from the chat.
Yeah.
The guy's been kind of discussing back and forth, much as we have been, as to why this deck is actually Baratheon Banner Watch, as opposed to
the other way
perhaps Night's Watch Banner Stag.
Right.
And the point that was made was this allows him to run fewer than 12 Baratheon characters. What do you think of that? It's certainly a novel way to turn around the banner relationship.
I suppose. And I mean, the false banner has been around for a long time. I've seen about half a year ago, there was this Lannister banner watch deck circling around, which basically just played Tywin. And then the rest of the deck was Night Watch. So, right, that could be actually why he's doing it this way around. It could definitely be.
Yeah. We'll have to see now if there are any loyal cards that come out. Like, in a deck like that, I would seriously consider playing Saving the Kingdom.
Right, right.
So you can reduce the number of
Yeah.
characters that can be tossed out there in challenges against you.
Right. for sure.
Really stall the board, push the dominant situation.
He could definitely be playing the red keep to get some sort of draw, but I think it's irrelevant at this point. Yeah, I don't know. So we have the military challenge, the first military challenge, maybe not, maybe not. So 4.
What happened to the previous challenge?
So he made the
Intrigue?
an intrigue challenge, yes, with
That was
Dani.
fully blocked?
That seems to have been fully blocked, yes.
Well, no, because
No.
she just stood.
She just stood. Oh, Dracarys.
Okay.
Yeah, he now.
Dracarys just to win the challenge.
Yeah, Dracarys to win the challenge, and he pulls off a reducer, or a location reducer,
Yeah.
and draws a card for insight. So that was just the first challenge. And that means that John is standing down. Now we have the first. Oh, this is the power challenge. Power challenge with both major players, and there's no power to claim. So why do you go this?
You still get insight. You still get 2 renown off it.
Yeah, and you get. This is why, because he also gets to kneel down something, and I'd say this means that we get.
So here's currently on 10 against 8.
Yeah.
Oh no, because he actually has dead characters in there.
Yeah.
I believe Jorah might have been the latest dead one.
Could be.
So he gets in the
No,
power
he
and the
moved
honey
him
one.
out. No, he moved Jorah out.
Then Ago or somebody would have been large enough.
Yeah. So he can kneel down Benjen.
So the second military can go through unopposed, take off
Yeah.
the dragon glass daggers.
Oh, that's not that wasn't military. That was just the
Both
power.
militaries can go through unopposed.
Yeah, exactly. That was just power. And now here we have one military.
Still with intimidate.
Yeah, still with intimidate. Kneeling down Aemond or...
Yeah,
well,
and
because
that's it.
Aemond would trigger before, right? And that's the game.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. That was fairly fast.
No,
and
blisteringly fast.
yeah, and that's what I was kind of thinking about why he was playing, because it seems to me that Johannes is playing a faster version of this deck that we've seen with the honey wine and other cards there to speed things up. It's
Jakob's
interesting.
game is already over.
All right, Jakob Hultman has also pulled a win here against, who was he playing against?
So Jakob's win was against, unfortunately, Rabs, one of the fan favorites. He got paired down and has now most likely knocked Rabs out of the tournament.
It seems like. So in the running still would be Jakob definitely.
So
Johannes
we're going to have
definitely.
Jakob and Johannes playing for the King of Swiss.
Yeah, that would be-
And again, as we previously discussed on Facebook, it depends on whether or not people might think that might be worth it.
Yeah.
Whether they want to brave the curse of the
Yeah.
undefeated.
Yeah.
I think for the next round match, we're going to look to stream somebody who is in a win-in situation. I think that's going to be more exciting.
I think it would be interesting
And it's
to
gonna-
see Evan again, maybe, because he's on the cusp. He probably might make it. Linus Oskarsson, a local favorite that could be making it.
Yeah.
Also interesting maybe to see Richard Walker.
And Mr. Rebecca really has been kind of an undervalued player, like,
Definitely.
because he has gotten some serious results recently and is still perceived as more of a flavor player than anything else.
Yeah. So there are some interesting choices for our next round. And you guys in the chat, if you are in the know, if you're looking at Jousting Pavilion, you can definitely be in the know. Please let us know what you would like to see.
Yeah, if you have any particular preference for it, give us a shout in the chat and we'll try and keep an eye out on it and see if we can be constructively biased by your suggestions.
Yeah, and obviously we will favour a guy that is just on the cusp to maybe making the cut. So
Yeah, so look at all the X and 1s as the results start rolling in
right.
and see if there's anything good there. We are going to wait for the players to finish their
Finish up
their little
all
goodbyes.
the officials, and then we will have Johannes in here for a quick interview as well.
So with the winner interviews, unfortunately we kind of been experimenting with camera and there's still a decent chance that the camera will be freezing up a small
I
bit.
think we have that
No?
sorted now. It looks like we might be able to sort out. It might freeze a little bit, but not as much as previously.
Okay.
So we'll be going for a
We have a
quick
lot of
break.
time now because it was
Yeah.
such a quick win. I think we
Yeah.
take a 5-minute break and then
and then we will be back with Johannes.
Yeah.
So please be patient with us for that.
Så Lord Renly på Queen Cersei. Och så 2 Queens Inform och Lennas Informer.
Nej, grejen är att jag har mött typ bara Night's Watch med. Det här är ju lite Night's Watch. Jag har mött 3 mållekar.
Och jag har mött 3 Swordfield.
Ja, det är helt galet. Men det är liksom så här bara... Jag trodde jag hade svårt för det. Men du fick inte...
Det här är ju nyckeln mot vår.
Men du körde inte Craven eller?
Jo.
Ja,
Men
nu
drog jag ju ingen.
Nej, och för det är ju det som låser. Det är ju det jag är livrädd för.
Det här...
Men du som du såg, Rattleshirt, jag har 2 stycken Viserion, jag har Confiscate. Alltså jag har alla.
Men det är ingen vallar eller?
Nej. Wildfire i så fall för att rensa. Men jag ska inte behöva göra det.
Nej. Nej, men jag kände redan innan att det här kommer bli jävligt tufft. Det är ju skräcken.
And do we have the mic as well?
So we're live again, and we got Johannes with us, the winner of the previous game, and that's a really fast deck.
Yeah, it is, really.
Tell us about your deck.
This tournament is the first time I played this deck. I got the list from Christopher in this week, and I will try it out. So I have not prepared myself for how it's working, so it's been learning by doing today.
Pretty much.
Surprise for you as well. How
Yeah,
fast it is.
exactly. So I just sit there and, I won again and again. So yeah, that surprises
But
me a
you
lot.
have been playing a lot of Targaryen.
No, never.
Never.
In
You
the
only
first,
played
in the first,
against
this is
it.
the first time I play Targaryen. So
Right.
I mostly play Greyjoy or Lannister. So this time was the first time playing Targaryen in 2nd edition.
But being from the Varberg area, you're pretty used to playing against
I
Targaryen.
know how Targaryen works,
Yeah.
and I hate them. And
Yeah.
then to get to know them, you start loving them
Yeah.
instead.
That's pretty much how it works, right?
But you seem to be making them work better than all the actual Targaryen players in the field right now.
It would seem, right?
Yeah, I don't know. The deck has given me real good setups every game. I have mulled 2 games, and I got the right cards. And then just to push through the challenges and try to make the other board so small as you can. I have faced Night Watch 3 times, and that's it's good against wall decks. Really good.
So anything that's more passive, that's what you want to say, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So I love playing against the passive decks. I
Right.
don't know how it will end up against another more aggressive deck
Right.
because I have not faced any today.
All right. So most likely you will have to face Jakob Hultman
Yeah,
for
exactly.
King
Yeah.
of Swiss here.
And it's Jakob Hultman against Jakob Hultman because the picture I have is a
Yeah.
picture of him.
This is going to be probably the most interesting game of the night.
Yeah.
But the question
obviously.
is, do you want to be King Swiss? Do you have any concerns about the King of Swiss curse?
I have never been King of Swish, so for me a new deck, a new opportunity to just kick ass, and that's what I will try to do in every game.
So we noticed a few important things. You were sitting down for the entirety of this game.
Yeah,
How does it feel
to
to sit down as you're playing all through the whole game? Because we're used to seeing you standing up a lot.
but today mostly against Jacob I will stand. So next game I will probably stand through the whole game.
Do we
just
even
to
need a share?
intimidate.
Do we even need the share?
No, I don't need a chair. I will
No.
throw it away. And I will
Immediately.
just kick his ass. Yeah.
Yeah. This is why we have to put this game on stream.
Yeah, I know.
But you have agreed to have clothes on.
Yes, clothes on. I was thinking about when you let an unopposed go through, you take one piece of clothes off you.
Right.
So it's like a Game of Thrones cloth
Version
game.
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a hardcore wall approach.
Yeah. But I don't know what Samuel and Karin thinks about nude playing in their store.
They might be against that.
Yeah.
We are streaming in the US, and they have a lot of because they apparently internet is available even in the US nowadays.
For the moment.
For the
I'm pretty
moment,
sure
we're not sure.
their president is working on fixing that.
He seems to be. So we might have to ask you to at least tape up your nipples,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. Okay. That's
and
good.
maybe your groin.
Okay.
We'll
yeah.
have to look at the blurring technologies
Okay.
available to us. The other thing we have to ask is the Super Mario costume. Why?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a new lifestyle for me to be like I'm a small person. I'm
Much like myself.
Yeah, exactly. And to be eating mushrooms and grow is really fun.
Yeah.
And like Super Mario, I do the same.
So
Yeah.
you found that now that he's officially not a plumber anymore, but just an all-round adventurer, you
Yeah.
can relate that much better.
Exactly. And Super Mario is Super Mario.
And
but
he
some
has
people,
history with dragons.
Yeah. Yeah, he does. So he's good against everything.
Yeah.
Some people call me the Monopol guy.
All right.
From the
Because
game.
of the
yeah,
mustache.
because of the mustache.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. How do you feel that your mustache measures up to the beard of Jakob?
It's like we went on a hockey journey, me and Jacob, to to the US and to the America and watched ice hockey. And we had he's tall and I'm short.
Right.
And we had like the slogan, the long and his mustache. And at that time I was the mustache.
Right.
So this nickname mustache is from me and Jacob, the long and his mustache.
All right.
Yeah, so this is a long story. It's like 5-6 years ago
All
it
right.
started. So now when I'm older and I can grow this big fabulous mustache, I really need to
So the long
take it.
and the mustache.
The long and the mustache, yeah.
So that
Wow.
that's what we have to have
The
on the
long
stream.
plan for the mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we are very much looking forward to the next game for the King of Swiss. In
We might want to keep that a
half an hour or
secret,
so.
though. I mean, imagine if because we're going to be guaranteed to see the guys in the cut.
right.
Yeah,
We're sure.
guaranteed to make it out.
So
in the
we
top eight.
might- we
I think we
might-
might look at some of the desperation, some of the excitement in
Yeah,
the win and
exactly.
win matches.
Yeah.
And then we get to conceal some of the most powerful decks
Yeah.
and see how the internet reacts to potentially being denied access to the winning decks.
This could be interesting.
Yeah.
Let us know in the chat what you want to see. As we asked previously, just go ahead and drop names for us, and we'll see what we can scare up for you.
If you win, do you plan to post your deck list?
It's not my deck list, it's Christopher's, so I need to ask him because I don't have any claim on it. I just play it.
Well-
How's Christopher doing? He's
Christopher is not doing nearly as well. He's a bit further down.
Yeah.
There is no further down. There's only 49 players.
Where is he
there,
has not crit.
30.
There he is.
Yeah, we decided to let me play bad and he play good, but he didn't agree to it.
So it's really kind of the Spanish approach, because we've
Yeah.
seen this at Battaglia every year,
Yeah.
where the top 8 is completely dominated by foreign players, and then they just pool all their powers into a single player who then comes out to defeat them.
Yeah.
This is your approach here.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
Varberg style.
Varberg side. So for King of Swiss, we do have Varberg against Stockholm, which are the two most prominent metas in Sweden.
Yeah.
Is there anything because Jakob is he's from here.
He's from here.
I mean,
He's a bastard.
he is right, but we have claimed his as our own, very
Yeah.
much so.
Yeah, you have.
So this is it's an interesting matchup in so many aspects.
Yeah.
And even if we end up not streaming it, we will keep you posted.
Yeah, that's good.
What's happening here?
Yeah, great.
All right. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Johannes.
so
You want
much.
to grab
Thank
some
you.
time for yourself?
Yeah,
Finish
yeah.
your coffee?
Thank you.
Pleasure. I think for ourselves, we look to grab a break because it's a long day and lunch
Yeah.
was straight after round 2. So I'd say we probably take a 15-minute break and then we'll resume transmission.
That
We'll
would
see how
be-
close we are to the matches to work out who we're going to have on stream then. But in the meantime, if you want to throw in your suggestions in the stream, we're going to keep an eye out on the chat there.
Right. So see you in a bit.